Hello dear students, welcome to English lesson. I'm very glad to see you. Dear students, first let's solve the puzzle to guess the topic of our lesson. Listen. It has no mouth, but speaks. It's not a tree, but it has leaves. It's not alive, but it can be a good friend. What is it? So, it is a book. The topic of our lesson is recommending a book. Today, we are going to learn the types of books and practice our listening skills. Dear students, let's start from vocabulary. Number 1. Biography is the true story of a real person's life from the past or present. For example, who was Walt Disney? Next, classic book. Having a traditional style that is always fashionable. For example, The Adventure of Huckleberry Finn. Next type of book, historical fiction. Relating to events or people in the past or the study of history. Next type of book is detectives. Is a genre of fiction in which a detective solves a crime or a series of crimes. Next is a fairy tale. Is a story told to children that involves magic, imaginary creatures, and a happy ending. Next genre is fantasy. Is a fiction that has elements that are not real, includes characters with magical powers. Next one is a horror. A story that entertains people by shocking or frightening them. Next type of book is science fiction. Is made of stories that blend fact and fiction with futuristic technology. Now, dear students, let's practice how to recommend a book. Dear students, here you can see the phrases from the dialogue between two friends. You are going to listen to the audio twice and repeat.
How was your weekend? I'm sorry about that. What did you read? It was brilliant. What's it about? Sounds exciting. Why don't you borrow it from the school library?
Now, dear students, you are going to listen to Anne and Bill. They are talking about their favorite book. Listen and read to find out.
Hi, Bill. How was your weekend?
Not so good. I was ill, so I stayed at home.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. I read a really good classic book.
What did you read?
The story of King Arthur and his knights. It was brilliant.
Really? What's it about?
It has a really interesting plot. It's about a boy, Arthur, who pulled a sword out of a stone and became the King of Britain.
Sounds exciting.
Why don't you borrow it from the school library?
That's a great idea.
Dear students, let's answer the questions. First question. What type of book did Bill read? The answer is Bill read a classic book. Question number 2. What was the book called? The Story of King Arthur and His Knights. Question number 3. Did Bill like the book? Why? The answer is yes, he did. He liked the book because it has a really interesting plot. Question number 4. What was the book about? It's about a boy, Arthur, who pulled a sword out of a stone and became the king of Britain. Dear students, let's do the matching task. Here you can see the phrases from the dialogue. Your task is to match them. First, did you enjoy your weekend? Number 2, that's too bad. Number 3, sounds really good. And the second column, A, I'm sorry about that. B, sounds exciting. C, how was your weekend? Dear students, you have some time to do the task. If you are ready, let's check the answers. So, number 1 is C. Did you enjoy your weekend? How was your weekend? Number 2 is A. That's too bad. I'm sorry about that. And number 3 is B. Sounds really good. Sounds exciting. Nice job, children. Dear students, next task is to complete the dialogue with the correct item. They are: it was brilliant. Really? What's it about? How was your weekend? And the last is: why don't you borrow it from the school library? You have some time to do this task. Let's check the answers. Number 1. How was your weekend? Not too bad. I read a really good book called The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. Number 2. It was brilliant. Number 3. Really? What's it about? It's a classic story about a young boy's adventures. Sounds interesting. Number 4. Why don't you borrow it from the school library? That's a great idea. Well done, children. Dear students, now we are going to do a quiz, types of books. Your task is to listen to the descriptions and find the right answer. Number 1. These books are about crimes. There was a man who found out how it happened. A. Detectives. B. Historical fiction. C. Science fiction. And the right answer is A. Detectives. Next question. These books are about imaginary worlds. There is a lot of magic in them. The options are A. Science fiction. B. Fantasy. C. Historical fiction. And the right answer here is, of course, B. Fantasy. Next question. These books are about space travel and far away travel. A. Science fiction. B. Horror. And C. Biography. The right answer here is A. Science fiction. Next question. These are stories about fairies and magical people which always end happily. The options are A. Science fiction, B. Fairy tales, and C. Classic. The right answer is B. Fairy tales. And the last question. There are real characters here, and these stories took place in reality in the past. The options are A. Historical fiction, B. Science fiction, and C. Classic. The right answer is A. Historical fiction. Well done, children. Now, students, let's listen to the joke. Who was the author of King Arthur?
I don't know, miss, but it wasn't me.
So, dear students, today we have learned the types of books and practiced our listening skills. You did a good job. Goodbye.